Welcome back. In our previous three videos, we have shared three different stories about why worry, about worries. And we have shared imaginary worries, genuine worry, and desperate worry. In this video, I'd like to share with you the last chapter of this story, Worries of Decision. Do you remember the classic dilemma of Shakespeare's Hamlet? To be or not to be? This is the question. And what a question! Did the prince answer it? I don't think so. But he worried so much about it that his life became an inferno of decision. The principal cause of worry for many people is precisely the inability to decide yes or no. Shall I or shan't I? Can I or can't I? Should I or shouldn't I? This or that, or the others. These perpetual questions is in our heads. It is really so hard to make a decision. If it is, then very often we have only ourselves to thank. Why? Because we do not think logically, because we do not consider the alternative solution to our problem separately and in order. It is this confusion which makes decisions look difficult. Order and system are essential. Take the case of Angela Ware. How shall I spend it? This was the crucial question Angela Ware tried to ask herself. Angela Ware was a violinist. For 20 years, 25 years, she had played in the municipal orchestra of a certain city in the United States. There were no pension for members of this orchestra, but when Miss Ware retired, she was given $4,500,000 in cash in recognition of a long service. Not a bad sum, perhaps, but Angela was in no position to spend it freely. She was now too old to work. She had not other kind of income and no family to help her. For another thing, she had made herself responsible for a young nephew, Harry, an orphan of 8 years. She was in fact father and mother to the little boy. She loved him dearly and was determined to give him a happy home and an education which would prepare him well for future life. The money then must not all be spent in a year or two. Miss Ware knew that she must invest it. She must conserve the capital and live in the interest. That, of course, was the problem. Invest in what? Three possibilities were open to her. Each of the three would need the entire $4,500,000, and to each were attached various advantages and disadvantages. Buy a piece of land on the edge of the city. This was the first option. Second, go into partnership with a certain Mr. Kent who intended to open a new bookshop and needed some capital. The last one, buy a vacant apartment in the center of the city and let some of the room. We can well imagine Angela Ware's worries if she had been a person of Hamlet type, something like this, perhaps in bed, of course, in the early hours of the morning. That apartment isn't very big. It's really rather expensive. Poor little Harry. He wants so much to have a vacation in the mountain. Is Kent honest? How can I be how can I be sure? Did I remember to put out the milk bottles? That bit of land is an interesting preposition. The city is expanding in that direction every year. I could sell that land again in a few years at a fine profit. Why can't those cats get off the roof? That apartment is in a very noisy street. I should only be able to let two rooms. Kent says they are going to open a new school in front of the bookshop. In the opposite, 3 o'clock. I must get some sleep. I must get Harry some new socks. I shan't get much money from two rooms. I don't like Kent's face. I have to wait for years to sell that land. Did I turn off the gas? That's enough. A person could think like that all night and get nowhere. The morning would find him tired and more worried than when he started. The following night would be just the same. He would come to a decision in the end, of course, but only because he was so tired to continue. Not a logical decision, probably the wrong decision. But Miss Ware was not at all like Hamlet. In fact, she was a very calm and methodical person. But before we see what she did in this particular case, let us look at worries of decision in general. Worry of decision, the four steps. When decision is difficult, analyze the situation in the following ways. Ask yourself four simple but quite important questions. Number one, what is the problem? You should have no difficulty here. Number two, what are the possible solutions? A little more complicated, perhaps. Make a complete list. Number three, what will be the consequences in each case? Stop. Look at this question again. In each case, think about each one separately, not all together. Don't be like Hamlet, type of a person that we imagined a moment ago. Analyze the advantages and disadvantages of each solution in order one at time. Number four, which in my opinion is the best solution. If you have answered the preceding question with care, this should be very easy. Choose your solution and then stop. Now that you have chosen, the job is almost done. Don't go back and start thinking about the other possibility again. You have made your decision calmly, logically, in order. You are not going to worry anymore. How did this method work in Miss Ware's case? If you ask her, she will show you a piece of paper. She made her analysis in writing. She says that this helped to keep her idea in order. So this is what she wrote. I want to show you this picture. I hope you can see it. As you can see, in this page, there is a table with three different columns. At the very beginning of this table, she wrote the figure 4,500. Sorry, to be precise, is $45,000. Probably, as you can imagine, I'm not so good at figure, so I misspelled this figure. The amount that was given to Mrs. Ware when she got retired is actually $45,000. This is the correct figure. So then she wrote the problem. To invest my capital in a way that will provide for my old age and for Iris' education. This was the main problem she was dealing with. B. Possible solution. We have seen the first one, buy the land. The second, Cat's bookshop, establish a partnership with their friend Kent to buy a bookshop. Number three, buy an apartment. So she started to analyze the consequences of each solution. So in one column, she put three solutions: land, bookshop, apartment. In the second, she listed the advantages, and in the third, she listed disadvantages. Solution number one, land. Advantages: no risk. The value of the land will never be less than the present price. Number two, value probably much greater after some years because of the city expansions. Disadvantages. Number one, to buy it will take every cent I have. Number two, there will be no profit for some year. How shall I live while I'm waiting? Solution number two, partnership for a bookshop with Kent. Advantages: big profits possible if new school opens. Do you remember? Someone said, no, Kent said that, a new school was about to be open in front, opposite the bookshop. Number two, advantages number two, immediate income, large or small. Disadvantages. There are four disadvantages for this solution. The first one, school may not open. Number two, is Kent honest? Number three, risk inherent in all commercial venture. Number four, capital lost is irrevocably if things go badly. The last solution, buy an apartment. We have two advantages here. The first one, no risk apartment in Centreville never go down in value. Number two, immediate small income. Disadvantages for this last solution: very small income from letting two rooms, hard life, sacrifices. Number two, no hope of a better things ahead. Conclusion. Take the apartment. The piece of land is impossible. I can't wait for years with no income. The bookshop preposition has too many risks. I'm not enthusiastic about the apartment. Life won't be easy, but it offers security. In my circumstances, that is essential. In other words, Mrs. Ware, built what the American called business case. In the business case, when some company needs to decide whether or not to invest in some, for instance, new information system or new machinery or things like that, they need to, to build a business case to analyze advantages, disadvantages, tangible and intangible benefit, how much they have to invest, and what will be the revenue of the investment. This is something like that they have to do a business case, in other words, and then to decide, compare the different solutions as Mrs. Ware did, and then make a decision. So what happened? Kent started his bookshop with another partner. Today they are rich men. 5 years have passed, and today that bit of land could not be bought for less than $150,000. Is Angela Ware sorry that she made that decision? Not at all. When friend tell her, Angela, you did the wrong thing there. Aren't you worried? Sorry you bought that apartment? Miss Ware answered, I'm not a prophet. I couldn't see into the future. Suppose something had gone wrong. Suppose I had died. Who would have taken care of young Harry? You? At that time and in those circumstances, I am certain that I made the right decision. No, I am not sorry. Perhaps you think Miss Ware was wrong. If you had been in her shoes, you would have chosen differently. Fine. The all important thing in these cases is this. Make your decision calmly and logically. Be patient and methodical. Consider one by one all the possible answers, all the possible way of action that lie open to you. Choose the way that looks the most promising and take it. Perhaps it's the best, perhaps it isn't. You aren't a prophet. You can't see into the future. Some of your decisions will prove right, others will prove wrong. That is inevitable. But one thing is certain. Worry won't help you. So don't torment yourself with hesitation every time that you have to make a decision. And if you find later that you decide wrongly, don't torment yourself with worries, with remorse. Why make your life a misery? Just do the best you can and hope for the best. And that is all. Do the problems of worry look less formidable? Do you see now that the pessimist was wrong and our realist was right? This little story has been written to help you. Follow its advice if you can, and if you can't, don't worry. And that's all for this story. Thank you for watching. See you soon.